Alright, welcome back. Now let's have a look at what happened here. When we divided x squared plus 5x plus 6 by x plus 4, the remainder was 2. When we divided x squared plus 5x plus 6 by x plus 2, the remainder was 0. When we divided by x minus 2, the remainder was 20. So if the remainder is 0, then x plus 2 is a factor. Now in these two cases, the remainder is not 0. If the remainder is not 0, then x plus 4 is not a factor. In this example here, the remainder is 20. So x minus 2 is not a factor. So you must understand that when the remainder is 0, then it is a factor. When the remainder is not 0, then it is not factor. This numbers could be positive, it could be negative, it could be a fraction too. Alright, so we are clear then. If the remainder is 0, then whatever we have in bracket is a factor. If the remainder is not 0, it is not a factor. So that's very, very important. Now we try to answer 1.5 in this question. Now in 1.5 we were told that, let me just erase this. We have cleared this to you now. Let's see what was in 1.5. In 1.5, firstly we were asked, in 1.5 we were told that find a when x minus 2 is a factor. So in 1.5 you had f of x is equal to x squared plus 5x plus 6. It was divided by x minus a, and then you were told that x minus a is a factor. Find a. So if they're talking about factor, or if they're talking about remainder, whether they're talking about remainder or whether they're talking about factor, the first step is always the same. X minus a is equal to 0, x is equal to a. Put this a wherever x is. So f of a is equal to a squared plus 5 into a plus 6, which is actually a squared plus 5a plus 6. So we saying the remainder is equal to a squared plus 5a plus 6. But they said that this is a factor. Now working backwards, if this is a factor, then it means the remainder is equal to 0. Now we have two statements. We are saying that by putting a here, the remainder is a squared plus 5a plus 6. We are saying that if this is a factor, then the remainder is 0. And it's about the same question. Therefore, a squared plus 5a plus 6 is equal to 0. Right? You can see the left hand sides are equal. Therefore, you can just make the right hand side equal to the right hand side. And then you factorize this and you solve. A plus 2 into a plus 3 is equal to 0. A plus 2 is equal to 0, or a plus 3 is equal to 0. A is equal to minus 2, or a is equal to minus 3. So that is how we do 1.5. You were told that this is divided by that, which is a factor. So two steps. First find the remainder. Because they said it's a factor, the remainder will be 0. And you've got the remainder is that, and the remainder is this for the same question. Therefore, that a squared plus 5a plus 6 is equal to 0. You are solving a quadratic, factorize and solve. If we did not factorize, we would have used the formula. Alright, so that finishes number 1 in our little discussion. Alright, let's move on to the next question.